This is the Timeless AE, and I've had this for a few weeks now. I made a video before unboxing it and giving my first impressions on it, and I have a bit more to say about it now. In case I miss anything along the way, always leave questions, concerns in the comments, and I will be getting to those. Um, Beyond that, if you find this video informative, like always helps. Subscribe definitely helps, and I'm a extremely small, extremely new channel, so any little thing helps. That being said, let's head right into this. So, I love that every single time. This just kind of falls in your hands and it stays nice and neatly right where you put it. Now, I'm gonna unravel this real quick. I think I should touch on a few physical features that both I like and do not like as much. So, let's start with the cable. This was one of the main upgrades up from the original Timeless. And this cable's good. This cable is beyond good. It's not perfect, but it's one of the best cables that I've been able to get my hands on. I don't have too many complaints, but there are a few little weird things that happen with it. It has the slightest bit of memory, which kind of goes away after a while. Like if I just keep straightening this out, this will lay relatively flat. These braids, these like twists and whatnot, I didn't notice, but they actually are not like connected together in any way. You see, you could just, and I've heard problems with certain chords, not this one in particular, kind of loosening and becoming all strange and ugly, or been even this cable has not been hinting at that problem, but it's just something to know. I mean, I know this must be fairly new. I've been messing around with other cables as well, and that feature, that aspect of cables seems to be pretty universal. Just something to know. Another thing is, something that I don't get on a lot of other cables is this like kind of rubbing sound. Yeah, that sound. It's another thing to keep note of. It's a very nice, beautiful cable. Has a nice sort of pattern to it. Aluminum tip, aluminum ending cable, aluminum, I guess V-point cable, aluminum chin cinch cable, aluminum endings, and then the IM itself. The aesthetic of it is no doubt really nice, so I guess there's not much to say about that in particular, other than it's very good. Let's go to the chin cinch. This thing, it's relatively, like if you just move it a bit, oh, now it wants to behave. Usually it's decently loose, and it likes to kind of slide down. Come on. So I guess with enough movement it starts sliding down, but it's useful. It definitely is. If you put a little pressure over here, it doesn't particularly want to move, at least not easily. And that's good in regular function when you want to tighten this up. But it doesn't work 100% of the time. Something that, if you get this set, you should know beforehand. The chin cinch doesn't work 100% of the time, and it usually fails when you're either like moving around a lot in your seat, or if you take these to the gym and work out with these, the chin cinch will probably keep moving down and down. If you just want it for nice sit down and listening, it'll be fine. Let's see. Let's go to the terminations over here. There is a little complaint I have. I put these cables on other IEMs, but for some strange reason, when I tried to take these out of these, they came together, they came in one box, they came already pre-connected. When I try to take these back off or put them back on, they are the hardest things. And they do kind of wear out. Not wear out, but they get easier to take out and put back in as you keep doing it. But even when my first video, I wasn't able to take them out by hand. It was excruciatingly painful to do so. I had to get an extra tool and kind of pry them out from the base. But after a while, it does right itself. Like right now, it's not that hard. It is harder to take these out than other IMs, but this, it's fine now. It's good now. I think that's pretty much it for the cable itself. Let's go to the IM. Wonderful finishing here. Wonderful machining. Wait, let's get the focus on that. Yeah, this is absolutely stunning. Now, for an IM, this is a relatively weird shape. 100%, just in general. Same thing with the original Timeless. These things look odd and a little suspicious in your ears, but I got over it quickly. But the actual piece that goes in your ear is not relatively, super comfortable. Honestly, the most comfortable I have used, period. And I'm sure there's more comfortable out there, but just to give you a little, what's the word? Just to give you an idea of how comfortable these are, if you sleep with earbuds, yeah, these are one of those. You can sleep with them. No, you'll feel them against your ear, but they don't hurt, they don't bother. If you're not one to sleep with them, then I guess have some comfort knowing that when you put these in your ears, especially with like the cable and how the cable supports them, they kind of just disappear. They just don't exist anymore. Just sound exists. Just whatever you play on your MP3 player or your phone or um your portable Bluetooth DAC, whatever it is. Um it's just wonderful. I could wear these. I could wear these for hours and not have any physical fatigue in my ears. It is very comfortable. But for the sake of not being too redundant, uh, I think I should move on from this. So, how do these sound? In short, phenomenal. Um, these these have a lot of things going for them. They're very quick. I think that may have to do some with this being a planar instead of a dynamic driver IM. But yes, these play every single little note, detail, micro detail, um, very intelligently. It feels like nothing is lost when you're hearing your music through these. It is extremely vivid. Um, Soundstage is very wide. Like for IEMs, it's a lot wider than what you would expect. I'd say, as a point of reference, from where you're sitting, you feel like you're in a room and there is a concert, like your personal concert playing. The room itself is about like 20 feet in any given direction, and maybe like what, a 10-ish, 5 to 10-ish feet above you. I feel like these can be a little 3D. I'm not sure if that's an intended thing. I haven't heard that before, but it's what I hear through these. And imaging is pinpoint. Um, yeah, no problems with imaging. This is absolutely stunning. I always hear things that I otherwise would not be able to hear, or otherwise would not be able to hear as good through these with other sets. I do have other sets, but I don't want to mention them now, because those are for videos to come. But as things stand right now, these are incredible. Let's see. The bass. The bass is a very interesting point for these. I know that they were increased about 3 dB from the original Timeless. I haven't tried the original Timeless, but I can say the bass is definitely very present here. It's not overpowering. It's riding along the same intensity that you would get from the treble. So this IM handles really dynamic songs really well. Um, but the bass feels different than in a dynamic driver. This kind of feels like with certain dynamic drivers that I had. It feels like the bass is hitting you. Like when when there is a hit of a drum, that that hit that hits you. When there is rumble from bass, for like a bass guitar, or if there's some type of synthetic bass going on in the back, you feel that rumble. It's rumbling your head, right? These aren't like that. These, like the bass, I mean, just the sound in general, but especially the bass, it sounds like some type of heat radiating from, any general direction. And the energy is just hitting you in waves. I know, the not sound waves, but it's like a heat wave. You're feeling the energy from something powerful happening over there. And that's the best way that I can describe how the bass functions in a technical way apart from dynamic drivers. I know it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Don't have all the terminology, but these these definitely blow it out of the park when it comes to bass. Um, that being said, there are better bass centric IEMs for cheaper, so definitely consider your options. If you're a bass head, consider your options for bass besides these. Um, this has sub bass over mid bass, so this tends to rumble more than it impacts, but don't get it confused. This does impact very well. And like I said before, it takes all your music and it plays it back very intelligently. Um, it's like this feeling between a clinical sound and a natural sound, and you put them together, and you just get divinity. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Um, let's see. Sorry, I'm just thinking. Yeah, I think that would do it all for bass. I was just trying to think if there's anything else going on, but I think I got everything. All right. So then you have the mids, and the mids, oh, I believe they're two things. They're reliable, and they also change depending on everything else. So reliability, I'd say like I say that word because sometimes some music, some vocals, some instruments in the mid range, um, can feel not as exciting as uh, other songs that I guess I gone through. And it was just my experience with the mids. Some songs had some mids that didn't sound as exciting as other songs with their mids. And what I noticed is even with that, the detail was still there. It was amazing detail. So it gave me the music, even if it didn't want to play the music in any enthusiastic way. Um, I also noticed that if that does happen, raise just raise the volume a bit. Sometimes it takes just a little bit more power to put uh, a pep in its step and make these sound good again. For those weird cases where for some reason it just doesn't want to have that excitement in any given instruments or vocals. This usually happens like in the middle of the graph where it has a recess around, I'd say, starting at 400, ending at 900 hertz, but where you really feel it is about 500 to 700 hertz. That's probably why it's not as exciting sometimes if you find some parts of the mids, whether it's instruments or vocals, that end up right in that little divot of the frequency response. Um, Beyond that, mids are highly, and I mean highly assisted with from bass and treble. For some reason there's this weird interaction. You have a good bass in a song or a good treble or a mixture of the two, and all of a sudden everything else feels better. um the singers feel more passionate, instruments feel more lively, and I don't think I've had that effect in another IEM as of so far. It's something to keep in mind. That's really it for mid, so let's head to trebles. Um, the best part of this IM. In fact, this outdoes everything else I've listened to. Um, this is like $260. I got it for 239, 11 sale. Take my words with a grain of salt, but oh my lord, does this do treble well. I am treble sensitive for the most part. And if anything goes like uh or crashes or distorts in any way or anything, even like high mids, um with guitars or female vocals that are just like sibilant and harsh and other stuff, it hurts me. It hurts me so bad. And sometimes I can't listen to music. I can't enjoy music because of that very thing. But these don't have any of that. These do not distort. These do not um, let those noises happen for the most part. I'd say with about a 95% success rate. These aren't perfect, but they're damn near perfect. Um, these almost never let those sounds go through, and they don't sacrifice the detail of the treble in doing so. These are incredibly detailed, incredibly crispy, always give me more than what I expect when listening to music. and this has been an absolute experience for me um these past few weeks. And I think you could hear the happiness in my voice um when talking about the Treble versus the other stuff. But wow. Yeah, just wow. um these overall are pretty phenomenal. I feel like they do basically every genre very well, but there are some genres where this shine through better. So I'd say if you're listening to lo-fi or blues or like any low lower energy song, you're not using the fullest potential of these. You want pop, you want rock, you want any version of those. I'm saying like anywhere from 1940s pop to current pop. Every single decade of pop, these do well. Um, and I know those are very different. Pop evolves and changes throughout the decades vastly, but these do it well. Um, Rock, any type of rock, throw it at these, and if you are a rock enjoyer, I doubt that you will be able to keep without a smile on your face, unless you have like IMs that already do rock well and are hundreds of dollars more than these. But there is relative competition in this price range. We'll get to that. There is competition for these, and I haven't tried them out, but they are something to consider. If you're trying to get a really nice IEM, especially planar, especially around the 259 price range. Always consider your options, and I'm gonna keep reiterating this. Always consider your options. This is my experience. I have had a lot of fun with these. Um, what else do these do well? These do rap, orchestral, any type of instrumental, especially natural instruments. This is just detail galore. These are detail beasts. These I am I'm very happy with these. To say the least. Uh, Micro details. I think I said before. These are definitely very present. They have stuff like fingers and guitars, fingers strumming the strings of guitars or any other stringed instrument. The wind from play the flautists' mouths or any other wind instrument, even any other brass instrument. If it's in the recording, you will hear it. Sorry about that. Echoes from snare drums, bass hits, even like singers, especially in a song like what is it? Especially in a song like Billie Jean from Michael Jackson. Most headphones can hear the echoes from the starting snare and hit from like some type of drum, but not as many headphones can hear the echoes from Michael Jackson's voice himself. There are echoes. It feels like you're in a room with that song, and I'm pretty sure it's intentional, but it's not noticeable um, most of the time in a lot of different other headphones that I've tried. And certain artifacts of recording. I think another Michael Jackson song. I listen to him a lot. I actually one of my test songs is Lady in My Life," and it just has a little bit of everything. So I usually use that to test different IMs, especially in first impressions. But in Want to Be Starting Something, I actually heard this from someone else. There is some point in the song where there's like this weird, like, it's like, I'm sure it's not supposed to be there, but it's like two cowbell hits on the left side only, and it doesn't repeat ever along the rest of the song. It's only once, just those two cowbells, and it's like, yeah, definitely they're not supposed to be there. That was an artifact of recording. I don't think it was ever intended to be there, but these pick it up, just barely. These pick it up. These were really cool with that. I think that's really it. I think that's really all in terms of this IM. If I missed anything, do let me know. I will answer everything, every comment, for the comments that you guys leave. Let's see. Yeah, I really do think that's all. I have been kind of going around Reddit and asking about this IM, seeing what other people think, what other people know, answering people's questions with that. But there's two uh, comments in general, one from Reddit and the other from the comments on my last video, that I want to show you guys because it was people's experience with this, and I believe people's experience with this compared to the original Timeless. Um, you know, disclaimer as always, even though this is not my opinion in this next part, but it is somebody else's opinion, and every opinion should be taken with a grain of salt. So, let's go to that. Alright, so here's one thing from Reddit. He wasn't replying directly to me, but I found this after revisiting a post I was looking through. He said he got his from AliExpress, got discounted for $223. What a steal. Let's see. He says OG Timeless and the bass boost from the A is quite noticeable. A lot more slap to it. A lot more natural sounding than the Z12. Cleans up more with the wide bore tips. This does come with a lot of tips. I think I showed that in the last video. If not, then I'll make an update to this video in case of anything. But you know, it's tips. You know, cleans up a lot more with the whiteboard tips. It still has a great technical detail, incredible resolution that makes the first so good. And judging from the graph posted in Ian Fan, the treble and tuning kinks have been smoothed out a tad bit. Has a much better 4-wound modular cable with all 3 terminations. Sells for about $70 by itself. And the other stuff is just bonus stuff from AliExpress. And let's see here. On my comment section, we have somebody by the name of Strismatic who commented on my post talking about his experience with the AE. He got them before. Let me just adjust this. Zoom out a little so you guys can see. He says, got these myself. They're pretty incredible. Have owned the OG Timeless. I wasn't a fan of the MMCX connection. They were pretty clunky when using the MMCX to 2-pin adapters on my UTWS 5S. Oh, UTW5Ss. UTW5S. With the AE, the sub bass boost, 2-pin, smoothed out treble regions, better mid bass, and improved soundstage, took what was already a killer IAM and pushes it into a must-own for anyone in this hobby. Now that's subjective. Just say, I mean, I have it. Is it a must-own? I would say so, but no one should make that decision except for you. and you by the person watching this. Let's see. It replaces my Z12 as a daily driver now, at least until my incoming HBB Hook X. Let's see. I asked him about, like, what he thinks of it compared to the original, beyond what was already said, because I was, still working on this video here. Let's see what he owns the Timeless, Z12, the Oko 0, and the AE, and the Hook's on the way. Here we go. The original Timeless, right? So this the description of the original Timeless compared to the AE in a little bit more depth. He says, as for the original Timeless, it's a bit more clinical sounding and less balanced than the AE. The major difference in the OG tuning is that the sub bass is 3 decibels less. Mids are slightly more recessed, peakier treble, and a slightly smaller soundstage. The AE improves just about everything subtly, not least of all the packaging and especially the cable. I mean, a good the end of the packaging cable is decently obvious, but what I hear from this guy is that the AE feels like a mastered version of what was already a pretty good set. Not pretty good, a very good set, especially for the money. The Timeless went for, I believe, $220 on its release, and this is going for $260, well, $259, $260 basically. So about a $40 difference for all the upgrades, both in sound and in the package itself. Is that a reasonable upgrade? Is that reasonable? Is $40 more reasonable means to get this package? Is $40 reasonable to get the AE over the original Timeless? That's up for you to decide. That's pretty much everything for now. If I missed anything, as always, let me know. Tell me. Give me feedback. Let me feed. And I'll get to all the comments as I said before. Like, subscribe. I will be forever grateful. And until next time, see you later.